Hey guys, how you going? Metal here. Today I want to talk to you about items because on Pokemon Unite, a lot of items do not have their full description, and it shows us why a lot of items look good on paper, but actually in the game they're not so great. There's a reason why Pokemon Unite is not giving us all the information. Today I'm going to tell you about all the different items. I'm going to show you the hidden information that is not found on Pokemon Unite and is found through data mining, and we're going to talk about why Pokemon Unite doesn't tell us everything. So let's have a look at some of those items, and we're really going to focus on the unseen information today. Now, all of this I found from the Pokemon Unite database, which I will link in the description below. It is an awesome resource, so make sure you check that out as well. Okay, the first item we're going to look at is Eos Cookie, but let me also show you how this is going to work. As you can see, I've added the Pokemon Unite database graphic that shows you what the Eos Cookie is like, and you can see some green text on there. Now, as you upgrade it to level 20, you can see with the Eos Cookie increases max HP by 100, then 150, and then 200, and that green graphic down the bottom, 200, says that's at level 20. But the little statistic at the top, HP plus 240, is when it goes to level 30, because that's an extra bonus effect that you get as well, because that's the combined total of the statistics that add on as you level up to the maximum of 30. Now, the important information that's not seen readily here is that the bonus caps at 6. So when you've got max level on this, you gain 200 max HP every time you score a goal. This is for a maximum of 6 goals. I know a lot of people like this item specifically on a tank because you score very quickly. You score and you score lots of short times at the start of the game, but it does cap at 6. You'll see with the attack weight and the special attack specs, they also have the same maximum cap of 6 stacks. Okay, the Assault Vest, which gives us a shield outside of combat against special attack. But until now, we didn't know how long we had to be out of combat for. It is 8 seconds. When you're out of combat for 8 seconds against opposing Pokemon or against jungling Pokemon as well, 8 seconds is what you need to get that shield. You will start the game with that shield as well. It's good to know, though, because as you're running away from a battle, make sure you're not accidentally getting in the road of a random Pokemon, because if you take a bit of damage, it's going to reset that 8-second cooldown. The 8 seconds out of combat rule is also the same with Leftovers and with Floatstone. Actually, a bit of a shame, especially because Leftovers in particular looks great on paper, but in reality, it's not so good. It's a bit of a shame. In my Snorlax guide, which I'll put in the top right corner, I actually recommended Leftovers, but this was before we were able to find the exact details of some of these items. I now don't use Leftovers on my Snorlax because it's not as good as what it originally looks like. Okay, next, the Buddy Barrier gives you a shield whenever you're using the Unite move for yourself and for the lowest HP Pokemon around you. But did you know that it lasts for 8 seconds? That's actually huge. There's a reason why so many more people are using the Buddy Barrier now. That 8-second duration is huge, and that shield can last you for the majority of a team fight. So that's why this item is very heavily recommended at the moment. The Energy Amplifier boosts your attack for a short time. That short time is 4 seconds. Now, Focus Band is one of those items that looks amazing on paper. The ability that when you drop to low HP, that you start gaining HP all of a sudden is amazing, but it has a 90-second cooldown. That is such a huge portion of the game, which only lasts 10 minutes in itself. So you got to keep that in mind when you have an item like Focus Band. Now, the Rocky Helmet is one that a lot of people, including myself, absolutely fell in love with at the start of the game, but it's also something that I think is the most deceptive. There's a lot of information here that is not covered. First, we need to take 10% of your HP in a single attack. Auto attacks are not probably going to do 10% of your attack at the same time, especially if you're something that is tanky like a Snorlax, which is what this is most recommended on. But what you also need to take into account is that's a 2-second cooldown. If you're getting massive burst damage, it's going to trigger on 1, but you're probably going to get a couple more attacks in before it can trigger again as well. So this is an item that looks really good, but unfortunately just doesn't stick up, and a lot of people are ranking it very, very lowly. Again, another item I originally recommended on my Snorlax guide, and then we found out the actual statistics on it, and it's just not a great item. Okay, the key information here on Scope Lens is that it has a 1-second cooldown. If you hit a crit attack, you might get another normal attack in, but then you have the possibility of getting another crit. Again, only 1 second later, which means you can proc your Scope Lens many times during a team fight. Now, next is the Score Shield, which I've seen quite a bit in games at the moment. Now, this has a 6-second cooldown, which means if you're trying to score a goal, that shield breaks and your scoring is interrupted. You can't immediately try to score again and also gain the shield back. It does have that 6-second cooldown, but still a great item on those really tanky heroes that you want to score a lot with. Okay, now the Shell Bell is very deceiving because it doesn't say anything about a cooldown. It just says when the Pokemon hits with the move. That makes it sound like it's every move, but it has a 10-second cooldown on that HP recovering, which is quite huge. 10 seconds is very, very big, and it means you might only be able to proc it once in a team fight because a team fight can end in 10 seconds. Overall, though, it's still a very, very useful item and one that is very popular with your special attackers. Now, there are a couple of items which doesn't show any difference between what is shown on the screen in the game and what was being data mined, and that is experience share, muscle band, and wise glasses. Now, muscle band and wise glasses are just pure damage. There's nothing in there that's deceiving at all. And experience share, there's nothing deceiving there about that either. It's just you get extra experience, and you can see what the details are there. Okay, now let's have a look at some of the battle items. To start with, potion, it says restores some of the Pokemon's HP, and we know that's not a lot, but we do know now that it's 15%, which is actually more than I thought. I thought it was closer to 10%. Okay, now I've wanted to know the details around X Attack for a long time because I've juggled whether I want to use this item or not. Now I know X Attack has a 5-second duration and it boosts your attack and special attack by 10%. And X Speed, which boosts your movement speed for a short time, that short time is 6 seconds long. Now, Fluffy Tail is a very popular item amongst junglers, and it does have quite a large boost. It has that 50% damage increase, but unfortunately only lasts for 4 seconds. So you really want to make sure you're using this item on something like a Boffalin or on the Ludicolo to really kill it quickly. Eject Button, one of my favorite items in the game, no difference at all. Now, Slow Smoke is something I very, very rarely see in this game, but it does have a 1-second duration, so you pretty much want to make sure you're on top of that Pokemon when you're going to use it, because it's not going to last very long. Next is Full Heal, and when it's stopping hindrances, so you can't be stunned or slept or anything like that for a short time, that lasts for 2.5 seconds, or a very short time. You want to make sure you're timing this exactly to make sure you're preventing a yawn from Snorlax or a stun or something like that. And the last battle item is the Goal Getter. This actually lasts longer than I thought. It lasts for 10 seconds, which means you can use it to slam dunk. You might be able to kill another Pokemon or two very quickly and then come back and score again while doubling up the effect of the Goal Getter because you get to do 2 dunks at the same time. But 120 seconds is a long, long cooldown. Now, why is it? Why is it that the game would have all these items but not tell us exactly what the effects are? So if we look at an item like Leftovers, it says when not in battle, but we don't know what that looks like. Is when not in battle 1 second after battle, or is that 15 seconds after battle? So there's a reason why we're not getting all that information. If we look at Pokemon Unite and compare it to lots of other MOBAs, compare it to Dota 2, League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, anything else like that, it's a very, very complicated game. And it's a game that has lots and lots of analytics and data and exact standpoints on what each item does. It's going to tell you how much damage it is, how long the cooldown is, what the area of effect is, if it's tapering or if it's instant, all those sorts of things. But it makes it very complicated, and it makes it so the ceiling for this game is huge, but also makes it so when you're new to the game and you're getting into it, the accessibility for new players to get into these games is very, very difficult. Whereas something like Pokemon Unite, it is a free game, like lots of other MOBAs, but there's lots of kids that are going to play it. You don't even need to have Nintendo Switch Online to be able to play. Just anyone with a Switch can get it. And it is a Pokemon game, and therefore lots of new people that haven't played MOBAs before are going to get into it. Lots of children are going to get into it as well. So what Pokemon Unite did when they designed this game is they wanted to make it as simple as possible. At the moment, there's not 100 Pokemon and 100 items to choose from. They want to make it easy to get into, because if people can get into it, they're more likely to stay around and then start spending money on the game. And it's not simple if you're throwing heaps and heaps of numbers, especially if you're young. Now, I wish there was an option so you could see like a simplified view and an advanced view, so you didn't have to data mine to find all these numbers, because I like to know exactly what the items are doing when I'm trying to pick up an item, but that's just the road that they've taken. I'd love to know down in the comments below what items you love to use the most, and also, does this video change your opinion on any of these items? There's a few items that I've loved to pick before, but looking at some of these, maybe they're not as good as I originally thought. They look much better on paper than they do actually in the game. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Or you can also, don't forget, check me out in my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/MetalFear4. But if you want to see many more guides like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.